What is going on, Outlaws? Once again, Michael or Legacy Kill HD back, and there has been a lot more information about Red Dead Redemption 2 revealed this morning. We're going to be breaking down most of that later on today, but I wanted to make this first video going over all the new images and stuff that we have for Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, unfortunately, we don't actually have any gameplay, which honestly isn't too much of a surprise knowing Rockstar Games. We probably won't be seeing that until, I guess, a couple months before launch. So that's something that they did with Grand Theft Auto 5, and it seems to be how they're going to be going about Red Dead Redemption 2. But they did give a lot of information on the gameplay, the experience. These websites that they gave a first look to have outlined a lot of that. We'll be breaking down everything that they said later in the day because it's going to take a while to go through all the thoughts that they gave. But each website did get some exclusive images of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I want to go over what was shown. Now, I first want to start with IGN. They actually do fortunately has descriptions of these images. The first one on the screen says, Arthur, Bill, Lenny, and Karen are fleeing from the law on horseback, heading towards the railroad to shake their pursuers. So we finally get some more names for these characters, and it doesn't seem to be that, I guess, it's not just these 7 outlaws. It's a much bigger group. It seems to be that there's more people than just, I guess, the 7 main outlaws, and they contribute different things. Like, in our third trailer, we could see a medic that comes along, and it seems to be that we have some others that are going along with Dutch's ideology. And the next image, we get to see a bear attack, which can startle your horse. If your bond is strong, it'll be calmer under stress, enabling you to turn and escape. So that's pretty interesting. The following image says, larger animals you've hunted and killed are carried on the back of your horse. They'll decay over time, so make sure you get them back to camp as fast as possible. And that really is that attention to detail that we love from Rockstar Games, and it really is nice to see that they're going a little deeper with hunting. Next, we see a younger John Marston stars in Red Dead Redemption 2, and judging by the trailer, we'll find out how he got his scars. You know, that was one of the things that I recognized on the third trailer. His scars look very fresh, so it's going to be very interesting how he got that. And I saw some people saying that they thought it was attributed to the 1906 failed robbery, and that's far from the truth. It was actually much further back, and I believe it's a bear attack. At least I believe it's what it's always been rumored. But either way, I guess we'll more than likely find out. Next up, we see Arthur Morgan as Dutch's right-hand man and the lead enforcer of the Vanderlyn gang, and that's something that I've seen so far just looking at a glimpse at these articles. It's a lot of details about Arthur Morgan's connection to Dutch Vanderlyn, and it seems to be something that's going to play out throughout the game. Some of the Vanderlyn gang from left to right: Dutch Vanderlyn, Bill Williamson, Javier Escuela, Arthur Morgan, there's an unknown character, Mika Bell, Sadie Adler, and another unknown character. Yes, that blonde character is named Sadie Adler, and doesn't seem to have any connection to Red Dead Redemption. I know a lot of people want a lot of these characters to have connections to Red Dead Redemption, but some of them are just brand new characters, and that's how it is. In our next image, it says, if food and supplies are in abundance, spirits in the camp will be high. If people are hungry, the mood can turn sour, and that's really interesting. And there were some past leaks that we discussed, and it does look like we are going to be moving the camp around. So it's going to be very interesting. I guess we have to provide for our camp, and we have to make the morale high, and that's going to be a fun dynamic that'll play out within Red Dead Redemption 2. Here in this nice image of seeing Arthur Morgan run by a little ranch, it says, ride close to someone else's land, they'll challenge you, asking you what you want. So this is another thing that I noticed. It seems to be that the NPCs are they'll interact with Arthur Morgan a lot. So whatever Arthur Morgan's doing, if he's trying to steal something, they are going to confront him. But some of them, I guess, are wimpy. So I guess the one example that I saw was like a fisherman. If the fisherman comes up, he may not want to start anything with Arthur Morgan knowing who he is, and Arthur Morgan doesn't even have to take his gun out. He can confront the individual and pretty much tell him to go, you know, fuck off. And the guy will. But I'm guessing that in some other situations, it won't just be like that. It'll be somebody that will, you know, want to fight Arthur Morgan. But that's definitely very interesting, seeing NPCs actually react that way, something that I don't think we've seen in many games. This is my personal favorite image thus far. It says, when Arthur and Bill emerge from the bank after clearing out the vault, the sheriff and his deputies are waiting. And I just love that gun battle right there. It looks like it's going to be a lot of action going on. And then once again, we get another look at the camp. It says, Dutch's plan is to make as much money as possible before heading back out west to freedom. So again, this goes back to Dutch's ideology, you know, fuck the government and let's live my own lifestyle. So that's very interesting, and I don't know if that lifestyle is going to hold up or it's going to be able to work, but it definitely seems like this gang is a family, and that's something that's going to play out within Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm excited about it. And again, we get another great look at hunting, and this one says, hunting with a bow rather than a gun results in a cleaner kill, making the dead animal more valuable, and that's actually very nice to see. There were certain things in Far Cry 5, like if you shot in a helicopter, the animal skin would be damaged, so I guess this takes it a step further. Obviously it's not in, you know, modern day, but it's nice to see that there's still, again, that attention to detail that we know from Rockstar Games is there, and I really appreciate that type of stuff. Next up, we have Morgan faces the bank teller to open the vault at gunpoint. Time is of the essence, so he applies the necessary pressure to speed things up. So I guess this again goes to bank robberies. It seems like there's going to be a lot of robberies that we can take part in, and I guess there's going to be different ways that we can rob these banks, so that'll be really cool to see. And next, again, we get a great look at the gang running into a town. It says, following the robbery in the town of Valentine, Arthur and his fellow gang members escape on horseback. Not much to say here, but a great shot. And then another great image, we see John Marston and Sadie Adler, and it looks like, yeah, they're fighting for their lives just outside of a house or a town or something. But either way, it's just great to see that John Marston look that was in Red Dead Redemption, and Sadie Adler does look like a badass woman that hopefully will get some backstory and her connection with Arthur Morgan, because she seems very close with Arthur. And next we see that Red Dead 2's dynamic weather system means it can be sunny one minute and raining the next, and that's one thing I loved about Rockstar Games, that attention to detail, and in Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be occurring once again. And it will be interesting how far they go with dynamic weather. Could that mean that a certain town could be snowing and like there'll be a seasonal system, you know, something I think The Witcher 3 did? But either way, this has me excited. Rockstar Games has said that this is a true next-gen experience, and you gotta remember, Grand Theft Auto 5 was a last generation game. We have not seen what Rockstar Games can do on the Xbox One and PS4 yet, but it seems from these previews it's going to be an exciting game. Now, the last image that IGN provides is the area of New Hanover is filled with wildlife, from deer to rabbits, birds to coyotes. Now, one thing I did see from these previews, just looking at it briefly, they mentioned a lot about the environment and the wildlife. They said that was the highlight of what they saw from the game, and they said that's what's going to make Red Dead Redemption 2, and that has me honestly so excited. Now, this was just IGN's images, and let me go check out. So there's a couple of other on each website. Next up, we see again Sadie Adler and John Marston back to back. It looks like they're fighting for their lives once again, and it looks like there's some fire around them. Not sure what this scene is of, but again, just another great image. In the following image, again another exclusive for this Italian website, we see Arthur Morgan in a gravesite. You know, I keep seeing him in a bunch of graves, which honestly has me questioning what is going to happen to this gang. Does this kind of foreshadow that there's going to be a lot of deaths and Arthur Morgan's going to have to deal with that? Dynamic that could play out within Red Dead Redemption 2. That'll be very interesting. Now, going to the German website, it seems like each of these gaming websites got like just a few exclusive images. Now, this one coming from the German, GamePro says, discovered camps can be looted to your heart's content. In this scene, Arthur steals 2 shot ducks, and that's going to be very interesting. Red Dead Redemption was very limited in that category, and there wasn't much that we could do, which honestly disappointed me, but it seems that there's going to be a lot more things that we can get. Hopefully we can use these items and sell them for a lot of money, and so hopefully there'll be a lot more things that we can buy. And the next image that GamePro has, it shows again just the amazing open world. It says many animals only live in certain areas, which is also an opportunity to orient themselves in the game world. And that seems to be something that you see in quite a few other games. I think Far Cry is one of the big examples that you can find certain animals in certain locations. Now, finally getting to, I believe this is the Spanish website, we get to see, I really can't tell too much from this image, but you see Arthur Morgan and probably another gang member just walking through a forest. Not much you could say about this image, but again, just looks beautiful. But the other image that they do have on their website shows Arthur Morgan pointing his gun at somebody, and it shows off that night sky in the background, which is going to be very fun and very awesome to see. And again, these images aren't anything too special, not much that we can make from them, but they are beautiful. guess, you know, it's a nice word to put it. Now, finally getting to our last website that has exclusive coverage. This is the French website, and our first image from them shows Arthur Morgan holding dynamite, and he also appears to be using a different outfit. That's something that hopefully we will be able to customize, but we can see dynamite in his hand as an explosion goes on in the background. Kind of has memories of Red Dead Redemption just from that image. And the other image that they have is Arthur Morgan on his horse approaching a, I guess you could say it's an abandoned home. And again, there's not much to say from this image, but it does show that there's going to be various places that we'll be able to explore in Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, it looks like some are broken down and abandoned, and then there's other locations that are lively with tons of people in a said town like Blackwater or even Valentine. So it looks like Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to have a lot of variety for us to explore and interact with. And it actually appears there's one more image that I have not discussed, and it's just another great look at John Marston. It looks like he was fighting with somebody and knocked out his enemy, and it looks like it's by a campsite. Now it appears again I missed a few more images. I'm going to throw them up on the screen right now, and there's nothing really to these images, but I wanted to make sure I included them. It's a better look at Sadie Adler in a different outfit, and another look at Arthur Morgan within one of the towns. And the last image also is again Arthur Morgan just galloping through I guess a forest area. But again, there was just so much released, and I believe there's 28 images in total, and I believe we covered every single one within this video. But that is so far what we have for Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of images, which revealed a lot about the gameplay and the story experience. We finally do get some names for some of the characters like that blonde, which is Sadie Adler. Now, I gotta go through a lot of these articles and figure out what's what, but it's a lot of information that has been released. I'm gonna be trying to break a lot of this down, but the one thing that they did confirm that I can just see in this article that I'm reading right now, Arthur Morgan is the only playable character of Red Dead Redemption 2. So I know some people were worried about multiple protagonist, but that is not something that we'll have to experience with Red Dead Redemption 2, so honestly I'm excited about that. But guys, there was a lot again just from these gameplay images. What do you think about them? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'm a little disappointed we don't actually see any gameplay, but hopefully we won't have to wait long. I would not want to have to wait until just a few months before release. That would be that'd be very hard to wait for. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video if you did enjoy or found any informative value. Consider subscribing, as I'm one of your best sources for everything Red Dead Redemption 2. Have notifications on for all the latest news and breakdowns. And remember, outlaws to the end.